Hello, we are Hannah,
Echo,
and Crystal, and this is a news, culture, and current events podcast from the perspective of 3 YouTubers. Hey, Hannah.
Yeah.
What are we salty about today?
I just peaked my mic so much when I said that, by the way. Just to let you know. I'm so salty about the future of YouTube. Where's it going? Is it going down the tubes?
Is it going down the tube?
That was a dumb joke.
It was worth it. It was good in my heart.
I've had a lot of opinions on this in the past, because, you know, when I was a bright-eyed young YouTuber, I was like, it's gonna be YouTube forever, Google's on top of stuff, they're gonna be great, they're gonna do this right. And now here we are, and I'm a salty old YouTuber,
Here we are.
and I don't believe in anything anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Particularly what brought this about was YouTube's Brandcast event.
It sounds so ominous.
It is.
It's so TV. It's so TV.
Oh man, the article is the most TV ever. So a lot of people, what caught my attention was I'm on Twitter and I see a bunch of like YouTubers I follow like tweeting at people like, what the heck? YouTube, I'm mad at you. And I was like, what did they do now?
What did they do this time?
So I checked it out, and Brandcast is this thing that they've been doing, I think, for like 7 years, where they just like get all of the tippity top important people from all of the most high paying companies, and they like try to woo them with gifts and a show. I'm pretty sure Brandcast is what Echo, you told me about it, like where the British YouTubers had to like sell their soul.
They made them dance like monkeys, and I was crying on the inside.
Yeah.
The Summit thing?
Oh my gosh, is that? I totally
think
forgot
it's the
about
same
that.
thing.
Yeah, I've seen. Okay, so I feel like I should.
Yeah, Echo
claim
told me about this a while ago.
Tomska. Okay, so Tom from Tomska, he did like a daily vlog essentially, where he was like, it was called Last Week, and he was just like, he'd film every day and then they'd compile them all into like a whole week-long vlog.
It's
anyway,
awesome.
in one of the videos, it was great, I love it. In one of the videos that he made, he went to this thing, and I can't believe you just brought back so many memories. But yeah, so he went to this thing, and they essentially, like, the British YouTube community, they were all of the top tier YouTubers were like brought to this place, and they were taught like a dance. Like, they literally taught them a dance to dance for brands and, like, advertisers, essentially. And they had, like, a person in one of those inflatable dinosaur costumes and, like...
Pandering.
You could just see in the footage, all of them just had this, like, kill me on their face of just, like, end this now, end me, I do not want to be here. Where it was just, like, they were all so... They seemed so miserable and so... sold out.
Sell yourself for
like
money, huh?
they just seem so like their souls had been sucked out of them by YouTube.
Yep.
That's
so
like-
that
That's like the epitome of YouTube nowadays. Like, suck your soul out for money.
Yeah.
It is, and that's essentially.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's exactly the same thing. I'm gonna say it probably was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Similar idea.
Though, instead of dancing YouTubers who hate their lives, they got real stars, like
my
a
God.
real
Real
TV production company.
Oh no.
And that was to start the tone of the night, which didn't. Oh man. Okay, so basically, to spark notes here. Hold on, I took like 3 notes. Okay, so
You're such a professional. Oh my God.
I know. I'm such a fucking journalist. All right, hold on. So we have... Okay. So I did not know this. I mean, I knew YouTube had Red Originals, but I did not know that they already had originals by Kevin Hart and Demi Lovato.
Yes, I knew that.
I didn't know that.
I knew that.
I heard about that.
I have YouTube
Okay.
Red. Do you guys actually use YouTube Red?
I did, and then I
keep meaning
I
to.
moved, and then I couldn't anymore.
You know, it's... I don't know how much... I love that there's no ads. Love that. YouTube Originals, most of the time, in general, super fucking cringy. Celebrities trying to be like, hey there, fellow kids. Or YouTubers being shoved into the shoebox that is TV, and it's not working, because they're not actors, they're not traditional TV, and trying to watch Scare PewDiePie was one of the most cringe-worthy things I've ever done in my life. He is
That was
not
the
an
example that I
actor.
thought of.
This is not for him. He's to be put in front of a camera in a room by himself. Everything else is weird.
That's it. I had YouTube Red for a few months, and I think I tried to watch like one thing, and then I was like, nah, fuck this. If I just kept it, one, for the no ads, and two, to happily know that I'm supporting people that I watch without having to watch ads.
Well.
Yeah, and that you're helping YouTube break the ties with advertisers in general. Yes. That you're helping it be like a self-supporting system.
The concept of YouTube Red. The execution is iffy.
Sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really excited about it when it came out. And I still, now that I just shit on all of the YouTube originals, there are a couple that are good. The Game Grumps one is really good. Just want to, pull it back in a little bit.
It's not all crap. It's just mostly crap.
Backtrack a little bit.
Okay, well, I did not know that they had Kevin Hart and Demi Lovato. This year, they're renewing those, but we're like, shiny sparkle stars. They were like, Will Smith is getting his own now. And this woman...
Which...
I don't...
He just started.
Which, by the way, I found... This is how I found it. Was this tweet by Sungwon Cho? Bleh, words. He was that Viner who did, really funny, geeky, nerdy RPG type vines. Still does little short videos, absolutely fucking hilarious.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I love him.
He's a voice actor.
Oh, wait, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He quote retweeted YouTube saying, our new slate of YouTube originals has, Will Smith and this other actress and some other bullshit. And he said, so glad my favorite YouTuber, Will Smith, is getting the help from YouTube he so desperately needs.
He is always on point with that shit.
I love his tone. I love the delivery of all of his jokes. They're perfect.
I fucking love him so much. I'm such a fan. So he's amazing, and that brought my attention to this whole thing, and I was like, wait, what? And so, they brought on Will Smith, this girl, Priyanka Chopra. I don't know who that is. She's an actress. Some other people. And then on Instagram... No, you know what? We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Oh, okay. So that was, in and of itself, it's like... right? That's kind of bad. But it gets worse.
Oh, good. I was hoping.
It gets worse. So and the tone of their article is just so oh God. The article that they wrote about it is just our ads convert the most blah blah blah, most active blah 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 to this many blah blah blah. Business people do, which, I want money from ads. So, yeah, talk to them like that. Get them to come. But they're now taking Google Preferred ads, and they're pushing people to give to Google Preferred only.
Yeah,
and they're now putting Google Preferred ads on Vivo and on YouTube TV.
So what that means for the layperson, if you don't know what any of that means, it means that they are going to crush the small creators on YouTube with the CPMs. So we get money per ad that people watch. That's a decent way to describe it, I think. And Google Preferred gets crazy CPM, so they get 15 times the amount that we do ish.
Yeah.
So what she's saying is it's going to be all Google Preferred and literally no money left for not even small YouTubers. All YouTubers besides the top 3%.
And that's why people were so mad. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna Kanye you really quick.
Go for it.
People were so mad because not only are they pushing these advertisers to Google Preferred, they're essentially saying in this article that Google Preferred isn't even really going to top tier YouTubers anymore. It's getting funneled into safe places like Vivo and YouTube TV alongside national television.
Yeah.
So
they're just doing that thing where they shift the wealth to the wealthy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So essentially, I think YouTube is TV now.
Oh yeah, it is. They're trying.
It's not YouTube.
Oh, and that's
really hard.
Okay, so that brings me back. I'm almost done with my story, guys. Okay, that brings me back to the Instagram thing. So there's another tweet. YouTube on Twitter, they posted new blah 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 originals blah blah blah, and somebody added them hey, the community wants to see things made by homegrown content creators. That's why we use YouTube. We don't want celebrities in TV and film. We're what made your platform anything worthwhile.
Hell yeah.
And they said Thanks for this. That makes us happy too. Okay, word for word. It's just so cringy, I didn't want to say it. Thanks for this. It brings us joy too. We're adding more original programming to YouTube. We're not taking anything away. We know that creators are what make YouTube special. And then Mikey from Glam and Gore quote retweeted that, which is another thing that I found. And said, this sounds nice, but budgets don't work that way. You have a finite amount of money you'll put into this programming and advertising for it. Several spots will go to TV, movie celebs with rates that must eat up that budget much quicker than the creators whom YouTube owns in success too.
Damn, articulate as fuck.
And then she replied to it, saying the highest paid comedian of 2016, an athlete with a net worth of $400 million, movie stars and pop icons. Not that these people aren't talented, but they have other platforms. You have one budget. Give back to the creators that made YouTube what it is. Stop trying to be Netflix.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody gets it. It's not the people that are at the top, but you know.
It's because YouTubers aren't running YouTube.
Yeah, that's a really cool
TV
thing,
people
isn't
are
it?
running YouTube.
Yeah.
People who have no experience on the platform running it. That makes sense. Because you know when...
And
yeah.
it makes no sense at all. Like in lasty, and then we can just salt all over the place.
Do it.
We're just already gonna salt all over.
I want to shout out this user on Instagram. I did not write down their name. I have to try to pull up Instagram really quick. Who tagged me and you guys in an Instagram photo from YouTube and said something along the lines of like look at this, whatever, this, words. Look at the tag, the title, the thing you put under Instagram with the words.
Yeah.
Oh, the description?
Yes, that. Essentially, it had a picture of Ariana Grande, some actress I've never heard of, and Trevor Noah from The Daily Show. And it said, always YouTubers at heart.
Ah. No, they're not.
Oh, if you think about it, they're kind of admitting it to themselves that they're not YouTubers.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, they know. They know.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Salt. Get mad. You're free. That's all I have.
They think they're doing what's best for the platform. It's fine. They have the statistics and numbers behind that. I'm not going to claim that maybe like they're not, but also they're crushing what YouTube is for something that they already know works, which is really irritating because YouTube started from something that no one knew it would work. No one knew that it was going to be what it is today, and now they're trying to morph it into something that is already established. And it's really irritating, and it's just getting more and more TV.
It's cringy, is what it is.
They're not wrong that TV is successful. It's just not gonna be successful for long. Like, TV's dying. It's
It's not.
Listen, media is always... Sorry, I'm cutting everybody off.
No, do it.
Media is always progressing like this. And as opposed to going forward with new original people, which is what everybody like our age wants. They want new original people that they can relate to. They're putting in these old celebrities that are gonna be, I mean, and not all of these are old, like Ariana Grande, Trevor, I don't remember how to pronounce his last name, but they're not old. They're still like present, current celebrities. But
they're like ripe.
Yeah.
They're ripe celebrities.
Yes, and that's not what you want to focus on in media. You always want to get the new thing. You don't want the old things. You don't want the established things. You want the new thing. They're doing this wrong. That's what made YouTube so good, is because it was producing stars. That's what's so appealing to people. It's not putting on established stars. It's producing them. And that's what, like, okay, radio did this, and then radio died. And then TV did this, and TV died. Now YouTube's gonna do this, and they don't think they're gonna die? Like, look at the fucking trend. Are you kidding me? Like, why is nobody looking at what's happening? You gotta keep it current. You gotta be looking one step ahead. You can't be looking behind. I don't understand it either. That's the thing that irritates me, is because this trend is becoming, like, we know what's gonna happen. And so I'm wondering, I don't know if we're done talking about this yet, but I always wonder what the next YouTube is gonna be. The next thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it's going to.
Something's going to replace it.
It will.
Something is going to replace it.
Because no matter what, no matter how much YouTube wants to try so hard to be taken seriously by their TV frenzies, like, it is, when you look at the statistics, you have, like, people, like, millennials and Gen Z are watching exponentially less TV than they used to. Like, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know it is a fact. It is so much less, almost like minuscule, if not almost nothing.
Paying for TV is nothing. Nobody pays
it's
for
not a
cable
thing.
anymore.
People
No.
don't do that anymore.
Yep.
And like YouTube TV was a smart idea, but they need to stop trying to shove the content into that direction. So no matter what, kids are still not watching TV anymore. They have like their set shows that they get for free off the internet if you know where to look, wink wink, and they don't really pay for TV anymore. Not that I ever did that.
Never. What?
And so the fact that they're trying so hard to do this, it's so stupid to me. It is so fucking dumb. And it you can only assume the next thing is going to come. They're making themselves MySpace and a Facebook platform.
Yep. You paint yourself into a corner. You kill all
That's
the
what they're doing.
originality, and then nobody's interested in your platform anymore. It's just the boring old shit over and over again.
Yep.
And I think that's where, like, movies are going nowadays, too. They're doing the same shit over and over again. And although they cater to the general audience, which, you know, that's where media, like, really hits its stride, is when it just caters to the general, which is what they're trying to do. And that's when that's where the big money is. But then people get bored.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like people are starting to get sick of superhero movies.
I am so
and I feel like
fucking sick of superhero movies.
there's
Did either of you watch Infinity War?
No, I want to.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. I want to.
I'm actually going to see it after we finish this podcast. But I feel like this is the end with a bang.
Yeah.
I feel like this is they made all these superhero movies. They brought them together. I feel like they might have littler ones, like, what is it, The Ant and the Wasp or whatever, or Deadpool. That's its own monster. I'm excited for that one.
Deadpool's great.
That's like its own brand of superhero movie, and I'm excited for that one. But I feel like they're finally gonna, like, not, like, wean off, but, like, they're gonna... It can't go on much longer.
Well, this is like actually the end of that universe. Like, they already stated that, so I think they're definitely gonna, like, tonally shift at least, or get new actors. Something, they've got to change something, because this is getting boring as fuck. And I think
everyone's getting sick of it.
I'm kind of hopeful about DC, although I always like.
Oh, don't get me started on DC's cinematic universe.
I know.
Don't make me go there. It's a dark place.
But I'm hopeful, because there's enough money here. There's enough money here. Okay, wait. I want to say one more thing about superhero movies. This is why Black Panther did so fucking well, because people are looking for something different.
They're looking for substance.
That was different. It was original. It was fun. I watched it. I really liked it. I didn't think the plot was amazing, but the characters were so endearing, and it was visually stunning, and overall it was just a different thing than we'd ever done before, and I was like, I'm here for it. Something different. Here, please sign me up.
I saw it like 3 times. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yep.
Oh, I have a tiny, like, bit of sweet salt that I want to throw in before we move onto the next thing. It is the best feeling when you see, like, those booths and stuff of the people trying to push cable on you, like, from DirecTV and stuff, and then when, like, you and your millennial friends are walking by, and they're like, oh, hey, do you want to sign up for this cable package? And I'm like, oh, no, sorry, we don't watch TV, we just use the internet. And then just, like, continue walking to just, like, it's the best excuse ever. It's like, it just makes me so happy that I'm like, oh no, sorry, we don't use that service. That's not a utility that we partake of.
I haven't watched cable in years. It's been years.
Same.
And the only reason I have a TV, to be honest, is to play co-op games with my boy.
Same.
We use it for Netflix. Our TV is for, like, Netflix and Hulu.
I don't even watch... I watch Netflix on my phone. Like, I don't even watch it on a TV.
Yeah.
I use my TV with a Chromecast so I can stream anime from my computer.
Oh, hell yeah.
We use our TV as a monitor for, like, the computer in the living room.
Oh my god. Yes. And I don't know, I just feel like they need more YouTubers in at the top to tell them what's right and what's good, because...
But here's the thing about that. They don't know what the fuck is right. Okay, so, like, not talking trash. I'm not talking trash about big YouTubers creatively or personally. I think they're all very creative and thoughtful people. Maybe not all of them, but, you know. My point is, they didn't grow up, I guess, in the same environment we are existing in. And I have this knowledge because I once spoke to a big YouTuber, TM, who will stay nameless at this time. But they were talking to me, like, this YouTuber has millions and millions and millions of subscribers. So they were talking to me, and they're like, yeah, ask me anything if you ever need anything, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, I'm going to utilize this resource like a smart person. And I would come across, like, a thought on marketing or, like, on content or, like, the demonetization issue. And every single answer I got was like, I don't know, I just kind of, like, do it. Like, it's it was like those shitty panels at VidCon, but like through text messaging.
Yeah.
They were just like, well, why don't you just do this? I'm like, because I don't have this many million fucking subscribers. You disconnected.
I think it was IHE. I think that's who it was who said that. I think he was reviewing the Smosh movie, and he was talking about how it felt like there was no idea. Like, they were given a budget and a crew and all this stuff, but they had no idea. They had no, like... There was no, like, tiny spark of, like, oh my gosh, this would make a really great movie. And then they were given the resources to do that. It was like people with a really big fan base were given all of this stuff, and they didn't have anything to build over. So they just made the most generic Smosh the movie
It's so
ever.
sad because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of small YouTubers with brilliant ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying that the big YouTubers don't have a brilliant idea. It's just
but they don't always do.
And that's
is the
fair
thing.
because, like, even the small YouTubers don't always. I'm just saying, like, you need to bring new people in all the time. That's what, like, writers do all the time. This writing staffs are always constantly changing, in new ideas, out old ideas. Like, you gotta keep moving because otherwise it's just gonna get stale. And that's not saying anything bad about any specific person. It's just the way it is. Media gets stale. The tones get old and people don't want to listen to the same thing over and over again because duh. And
and so
you know what would be cool?
What?
Oh,
No,
sorry.
go.
This is in terms of like future of YouTube. I really want them because it's true. Like the big community, they have some people who have really good ideas, and they should be given a budget to fulfill those. But there's also the small community, and some of them have really great ideas, and someone should give them a budget to fulfill that. It would be really cool if YouTube did a kind of talent show thing that was just like, "Hey, small YouTubers, what's your idea?" And then gave an actual YouTube original to a small YouTuber with a really good idea.
yes.
maybe.
Like,
I
I
think
don't know. I think it would be
It's
interesting.
a great idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think YouTube would go for it just because they are, like, making their bank off of the fact that people like this person already. So they're going to watch their blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
I
Which is so
agree,
flawed.
but-
It's so flawed.
But I
Yeah.
totally agree because I believe that as well. Franchises sell, and they always have, and they always will. But I think this is becoming a cultural shift where we're not so sold on people anymore, and we're willing to sign up to an idea like Black Mirror. Black Mirror switches out the cast every single fucking episode. I never would have thought a TV show like that would have worked.
Yeah.
If you would have told me this like a couple years ago, I would have been like, go fuck yourself. Like, that's never going to happen. But Black Mirror is doing so well because it's brilliant. And I really think something like that could work on YouTube. Although
could.
they're never going to do anything like that.
That's
I really
the
don't
thing.
think.
I don't think they will. And
It could work
kind of
so
goes back.
well.
It goes back to what they're talking about. Like, you have these, like, people that, like, tripped into success in the mid 2000s when YouTube was, like, coming up, and they just were like, oh, you just make videos and then you'll get successful, and which is pretty much anything they all fucking tell me. And so YouTube has these, like, people who just think if you just make the videos, it'll be fine. It doesn't matter what they're of. And then they're, like, keeping them at the top. And then, like, these people without really good ideas are just being shoved into these, like, canned TV movie bullshits. And
I
then
totally agree with that.
YouTube is like, well, this isn't working. So instead of, making more stars, let's, like, go to other stars.
Yeah.
And it's just... It's gonna kill the platform.
I don't think, like, they did have good ideas at some point. They're just not
some
understanding how the current platform is working. And that's what happens with, like, TV people as well. This happens in media. I don't know why they would expect anybody to constantly get the platform. Although, honestly, PewDiePie is one of my faves because I feel like he really does get it. And he continues to get it through the years, which is insane. But that's why he's on top. I feel like Superwoman as well is always on top of things. Like, she gets it.
Superwoman's really good.
She's always
When you care about
moving.
the platform, like, really care about it, you take the time and invest, like, why is it behaving this way? What are the trends? Why are the trends the way they are? Is this right? Is this okay? And when you really look into it, then you're, like, up with, oh, this isn't okay, which is when you get, like, a PewDiePie or, like, a Superwoman. And it's just, but those are rare. Those are
They're
like two
so
big
rare.
YouTubers out of however
They're
fucking
like the
many
only
there
big
are
ones I
now.
can think of that I really think are doing well. Besides, like, all my animator babes, which aren't they're not on top, man, you know?
There are brilliant fucking YouTubers out there that have over 1 million subscribers that are never going to get celebrated by YouTube. David found this YouTuber called Comic Storian, who pretty much takes scans of comic books and, like, whites out the words so it's not copyright, and then he, like, retells them with narration.
That's interesting.
And it's absolutely fucking brilliant because somebody like myself who loves comic book culture but doesn't have the time or the money to go read them can watch them and get filled in on the universes of whatever comic books. And he has like
That's
1.3 million subscribers, and I was watching it and I was so entertained, and I was like, wow, this guy takes so much time because all of these are high res scans. Like, he whites out all of these, like, he's like narrating them with enthusiasm, and there's like a lot that goes into this, and I was like, this guy is never gonna get celebrated by YouTube, and that's so fucking sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of content that they don't, like, all fan art and all fan fiction is never celebrated, like, popularly, and it drives me nuts because that's art too.
It is.
It's what
Anything
I started
that isn't.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, like, Neil Cicierega. I've been going back to, like, Neil Cicierega's content a lot. He's the guy who made Harry Potter Puppet Pals and The Ultimate Showdown. Or
Nice.
The Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Yes.
He made all of these crazy things, but he did it by taking pre-existing things and repurposing
Yes.
them. He built new things off of... It's like scrapbooking.
Yes.
That is art.
And YouTube is only celebrating things that started from nothing completely, like content that has started from absolute zero and flourished, and never, like, repurposed stuff, which makes me really sad because that was kind of what made the internet so great in the beginning. Like,
Listen,
I don't
everything is fucking repurposed. Everything. Always.
Yeah.
Fan artists are artists, and they've got good ideas, and I really do feel like they should be celebrated, and not just because I started as a fan artist.
Dude, I agree.
like a literal
I completely fucking
Fan
agree.
artist.
On one of my non accounts, I follow on, like, so many fucking fanfic authors on Tumblr who are so brilliant and
Yes.
talented and thoughtful. And yeah, they're, like, taking a thing that already exists and, like, but they're diving into the psychology and characterization of these characters that somebody else made because they have such a passion for them and they're so fucking talented. And they should write novels, but they're being, like, told that they're irrelevant and not important. So their art is being forced away while they go and do corporate bullshit because they don't think they're good enough.
Yes.
Because the platforms that could give them a voice, like YouTube, are saying, no, you don't fucking matter.
This goes back
Which is such bullshit.
franchises sell. That's just the way it's been. I don't know. I feel like that is a great way to get better, though. And I mean, we're going into a whole different territory now. But fan art, totally relevant. Fan writing,
It is, I
totally
agree.
relevant. That is a great way to get started, and it gives you more practice, like, of analyzing other people's content and stuff like that. I think there's nothing wrong, and it's how almost everybody starts. To be honest, any artist, I can't think of an artist that didn't start with fan art.
Yeah.
Like, everybody.
I can't think of an artist who doesn't appreciate fan art is another thing. Like, I love fan art that I get of me and also of, like, Chewy Bunny and Damien and, like, all my OCs, all my, like, characters that I've come up with throughout time. Or when people, like, redraw my fan art, I'm like, that was good. I really love that.
It's my favorite thing in the whole... It makes my day every time I see fan art. Especially fan art of my OCs. I don't know why in particular. Fan art of myself is one thing, but fan art of my children, I'm like, give me more of that.
Yeah,
please.
it makes you so proud. It's so nice.
Like, you drew what I drew. I'm so excited.
That's the best. And okay, looking at kind of redirecting back to the future of YouTube.
Yes.
They look like they're doing a corporate sellout type situation.
They are.
So
yeah, it's like YouTube is selling its soul.
Aww.
A little.
Oh, that's really sad.
A little.
I know.
But the meme culture of YouTube is not going to go away. You know what I mean?
It's just
That's
gonna morph.
organic. Exactly. And people keep saying Twitch, I need to go over there, but I feel like perhaps, I don't know if that's the place yet.
That's what I say. That's my vote. Not for long term, but for the next... If I had to take a bet right now, I would say it's got 3 years and it's going to be on the top, and then after that it's going to decline. That's where I would put my money. That being said, I don't think I'm going to go over to Twitch because I just don't feel like I'm good at that kind of content. Maybe I am. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's for me. Yet.
I feel like meedling over there, like doing like a little side project for fun, and like that's really it. Like, you know what I mean? Like a once a week, like I don't know, we play D&D together or something like that. And, like that's
D&D.
it. You know what I mean?
I love D&D.
It's like I've been live streaming on Twitch on the weekends for like the last couple weeks, and I've just been using it as like an excuse to sit down and draw and play music. And it's like not even like talky or anything. I'm just like sitting there just actually drawing. But usually, like, if I'm live streaming anywhere else, I'll want to talk just because I feel like it's that dull silence. But yeah, the creative area of Twitch seems to be getting, like, much bigger.
Yeah. I think it's the future. I think it's where people are going to move. Because it's genuine. That's what everybody's looking for. Yeah. It's fucking genuine people. They just want to see something real for once in their goddamn life. Media's always fake. Like
everything is fake.
It's like untethered creativity.
Dude, but soon live streams are going to be super fake, and then we're all going to hate ourselves again. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because people catch wind of a thing that is doing well, and the like indie, organic, like genuineness of something gets pushed aside by people who are trying to get that money, and it kind of perverts the whole thing.
I don't know how they're gonna make live streams super fake though. That's gonna be a good time.
This makes me wonder. I feel like what's gonna happen is that it's just gonna end up being very corporate. There's gonna be people who come up with an established system that is so established that it's just. It becomes fast food, like so many YouTube videos. The other thing that I wanted to mention, though, was what if, and this might be kind of weird, but what if the future of YouTube isn't video? What if it's something, I don't know, like comic or live streaming or something that's,
maybe,
I don't know, just outside of the uploaded video kind of thing?
It
like
could.
Flash animation.
I mean, I'm not
going
to close my mind to the
because I feel like that's where YouTube
Yeah.
started, was Flash animation. Or that was part of it anyway, like with Newgrounds.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see the live stream section of YouTube expanding. I really think live streaming is going to be where people go to. Because people are looking for a lot of content as fast as possible. People talking about something they saw 30 seconds ago, if not sooner. Like, I feel like that's where we're going. And I feel like if YouTube really steps up their live streaming game, They could do goo.
Maybe. Perhaps.
I'm just so fucking cynical at this point. I think YouTube's going down.
I'm not gonna say I gave up. I just came back today with a video. But when I say I gave up caring about how YouTube's going to treat the content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm still going to do my thing. That being said, I'm still going to make videos for fucking a foreseeable future because I like it and it's good for me as a person. But I really don't think it's, like, I don't think any YouTuber that is under 1 million right now is going to have much of a future except for, like, those boom ones. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's really cynical and sad. Sorry.
No,
I don't mean to take everybody down.
What I think is kind of interesting and kind of funny is that YouTube started as like this niche, you only do it if you like it hobby situation, and it kind of turned into this like get famous, get your channel popping, blah 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 blah, and like this race to get the content and to upload daily, and it still kind of is, but because of how YouTube is like shifting away, it's turning into like you kind of have to only do it as a hobby at this point because you're going to either get demonetized or suppressed or whatever the fuck for something. You're going to get flagged for something and your content's not going to be appreciated. You're not going to get found. So you're only doing it because you like it. So it's kind of like you came back in a little... Came back to the beginning.
I like that. That makes me really happy, actually. Thinking of the fact that people are only doing it because they like it makes me happier. Now you're making me happy.
I feel like it's just the way that it's approached.
You what?
It's like the idea of someone giving you money and taking it away hurts less than someone never giving it to you in the first place, despite the fact that both of those have the same end result.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's because they make it seem like, it's like a tease almost, that they're like, you could make money, but you're not going to. Where it just like... It negatively impacts, like, your motivation as a smaller creator.
It does.
You know,
I don't know.
I can see a future in they take away all the money from the medium and small people, and everybody who's just in it for the money leaves, and the creatives stay. I can see a future in that.
I can totally see that happening.
We can make a home here.
We can make it work.
That was one of the reasons that Vine was... Yes.
You gotta, at some point, I took my whole long time last month off. I came back, and the video I came back with was Deadpool. And while I was writing, filming, and animating it, I was just like, I'm gonna get demonetized and suppressed for all of this. Because, like, there's, oh, God, so many things to get demonetized for in that video. And I was just like, I kind of came to a point where I was like, I don't care if I get demonetized or not. And I'm going to make this funny because that's what the fuck I want to do. And it was so freeing. Like, I'm going to try to upload more often, but it's less like I have to upload every week or the algorithm won't make me famous. It's going to be more like I'm going to make a fuck ton of jokes because I get demonetized anyway, so fuck it. And if I upload once a month, then I upload once a month. This video is going to be really good. And I'm just going to keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the spirit.
Yeah. There's a weird freedom to, like, having nothing, because it's like you have nothing to lose.
I totally agree. That's kind of, yeah. I feel like that's the right attitude to come at this nowadays.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's definitely still a place, you know what I mean? There's so many avenues on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
People are getting, like, building businesses off of just Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're looking for money on the internet, there's always a place to do it. You just have to know where to look. But if it starts from a place of doing what you love to do, you can't really go wrong.
I agree.
Kind of a situation. So even if what was it, Philip DeFranco described YouTube as the drunken, angry step-parent that he was tired of fighting with.
Yeah. He says that so much, and it's kind of like...
I'm tired.
You kind of feel it after a while.
Yeah, they're like a drunken, angry step-parent that I'm tired of trying to appease. And I'm like, you know what? You go, do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. Dude. I'm tired of trying to please you.
Philip DeFranco's gonna take his toys and go home.
Yeah, dude.
He's sick of it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah, I feel like he should have his own website and do that, and that would be way more money smart.
Way more money smart.
You could tell I'm super good at business things, because I know what's money smart. Listen, look.
Look. You're the most money smart of all of us,
Listen,
Hannah.
Oh my God, I'm going into my MBA right now. I know.
I don't have my master's.
Business smart. Look at me. Oh God.
I don't have my master's. I said I got my bachelor's and said,
I am the
fuck
definition
this.
of book smart and so dumb everything else. I just graduated college, by the way.
Woo! Hell yeah!
Congrats on that, by the way.
Congratulations.
3.8 GPA. Look at me go.
Nice.
I'm very
Nice.
fucking proud of myself. I don't usually brag, but I'm actually really. I poured so
That
much
is
money
something
into
to be
this.
proud of. Yeah, dude.
I finally get a chance to be like, hey, I did a good thing. I can prove I'm very, very book smart. Put me in a real world situation and I will flounder. But books, man, I know them. Wait, I have a Hannah's crime corner that I want to get into, which is so negative.
Let's go.
Do we want to do that first, or do... Okay, I'll let you do that
negative,
first.
so I don't want to end with it.
Okay, let's get it. Let's go.
Okay,
it's hopeful-ish.
let's do that one first, then.
So, I don't know how into true crime you guys are, but there's a super big thing that happened. East Area rapist / Golden State Killer was caught.
Oh, I heard about that.
You heard about this.
I saw
It's
that.
a big fucking deal. It's a huge deal. Just happened like 2 weeks ago. I wanted to wait until all the details were out before I started just acting like I knew what I was talking about. So now that the details are out, now I'm going to act like I know what I'm talking about. So he was caught. He operated from 1974 to 1986 in California. So, I mean, I obviously wasn't paying attention then because I wasn't born. But I learned about him a couple years ago from Michelle McNamara's book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
Yeah.
I'll Be Gone in the Dark. It's such a good fucking book. She was Patton Oswalt's late wife. She died in 2016.
That made me so
It's really sad. He put out her book. She didn't finish it before she died. He put out her book, and it's amazing. Super recommend it, especially now that they caught him. It has a happy ending, I feel like. I'm just really bummed out she didn't get to see it. But anyways, this guy was, like, the definition of awful. Like, I can't imagine a worse individual. He has over 50 rapes confirmed, about 12 murders that we know of. I can't say about 12. 12 that we know of. And then over 100 burglaries, again, that we know of. Which is That's so ominous. I hope he just admits it now that we got him, but they never do. They never give people this fucking satisfaction. It's so irritating. Anyways, he would attack young women, and then he escalated to couples, and he escalated to couples when the newspaper specifically said he didn't attack couples, which is so fucking interesting, and also, he's the worst. I should say real quick, trigger warning for, like, sexual violence, because he is. I'm not going to go into detail, I just want to... If you don't like that, you can skip this part, because that's all he did, pretty much. He attacked couples, and he would... This part specifically is, like, nightmare territory for me. He would he would flash a light in their face while they were sleeping in the middle of the night, dead of night. He would have the woman tie up the man, and then... he would put plates on the back of the man, like dish plates, rape the woman, and if he could hear the plates move, he'd kill them both. Which is the literal definition of nightmare. That's as much detail as I'm going to go into, because, my God, I'm not interested. Like, it's awful. It just goes on and awful. You can imagine. It's awful.
Horrible garbage person.
Yes, that is next level shit. Of just, like, pure devil. Anyways, he would do really weird things. He had a really specific MO. He would move shit from, like, victims' houses. So he'd, like, take something from someone's house, like an insignificant thing, like spoons. He'd take spoons. He would take fucking cans of food. He'd take a bunch of shit. He'd also eat in their houses, which is really weird. And he'd just move it to a different victim's house, so the next victim would have something from the previous victim's house. He would just basically, like, toy with them a lot. So it was insane that he wasn't caught. And people were like, how are they not catching this guy? So the case goes cold. Then, in 2010, it picks back up with Michelle Nack-Rivera and a bunch of web sleuths, which are fucking amazing, by the way. If you haven't, like, seen web sleuths before, I know Reddit has a bad history with trying to solve crimes. They do a bad job. But they do good sometimes. They do good. In this case, they did good. And they did help in this case. I know that the police probably don't want to admit it because they don't want to encourage people just accusing randomly, but they helped a lot.
Because it easily goes into, like, conspiracy theories when people are looking for patterns that may or may not be there.
It gets into some real shaky territory when a lot of people who just want to talk don't have all the facts, which is, like, everything.
Yeah.
So, web sleuths, super fucking awesome. There's actually, I wanted to note this too, a little bit unrelated. There are sites that you can go to that have lists of missing persons and lists of unidentified bodies, and people are working on correlating them, so finding, it's just giving families, like, peace of mind. So if this person, you know, has a unique tattoo, you can go through lists of missing people to see if they have that unique tattoo. Stuff like that. You can actually help out a lot by identifying bodies, which is, I think that's super cool. What a cool hobby, if you don't have a hobby.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Just solving missing persons crimes. I think that's the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's regulated, so you'd have to tell, like, someone in charge. You can't just call the fucking police because they're not going to listen to you. You have to tell somebody that's in charge of the site, and then they'll go to the police because they're verified. Anyways, I feel like everybody should get involved if they don't have a hobby and they have some spare time. I think it's so cool. So, this guy was, this has been 40 years since his crimes, obviously, and he was caught with familial DNA. Have you guys heard about this? How he was caught? It's the coolest
a little bit, because of the internet.
Yes, he was caught because of the internet. So, some piece of shit in his family was like, I need to know how white I am. They took a swab of their cheek, they sent it into one of those ancestry sites that was like, I need to know my race, even though I'm clearly as pale as the moonlight.
So
and
funny.
it came back as, they ran it against the crime database, because you gotta read the fine print. Some websites do this, and it's not illegal. Ancestry.com proper doesn't do this, but other, like, off-brand sites totally do this. So if you're a criminal, I mean, I don't want to give you pro-tips, but this is legal to do.
Stop your family from doing this.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about this
your
later.
Your family's
it's very
DNA will rot.
I totally want to submit my DNA, because I know my family's a piece of shit.
Damn.
I'm gonna send their asses to jail, like, swab my cheek, all of them. Send them all to prison.
So funny.
But anyways, that's how they caught him. They matched it with, like, some amount of percentage, and they went through, like, her whole family history. and found this guy. I don't know for sure, but I think it was his daughter, but that's just me speculating from something I heard from somewhere. I've listened to a lot of things on this because I'm so interested in true crime. Anyway, this guy, his name is Joseph D'Angelo. It turns out he was a cop, which is why he wasn't...
which makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense.
See, this is a thing... I have talked with my sister about this all the time because we watch like Forensic Files and stuff like that. And we watch these shows and we constantly complain about the criminals because we're like, how could you be that stupid?
Yes.
How could you be that stupid? Like there was one woman who had she'd killed someone in her basement and instead of like cleaning up the blood, she painted over it with blue paint. The rest of the house was cement. So if you go down into this basement, there's just random blue splotches everywhere. And they followed her to this, and they were like, what's all these blue splotches? And she was just like, I don't know. And then they scraped it up. Sure enough, there's blood underneath it. And my sister and I were just like, how are you that stupid?
Oh, my goodness.
How? And we're just like, what if there was a competent criminal? Because there's got to be so many criminals who know what they're fucking doing that we're just not going to catch because they know how to evade the system.
Ex-military men,
there's gotta be so many.
People like me who've watched way too much true crime shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like Forensic Files was like, it's a little dated, like it's pretty old. And I feel like there were just so many people who like didn't know shit about shit. There were just all these old people that were like, I can just paint over blood, they'll never find it. What if I just erase this hard drive? Like, I could just put this file in the trash can and they'll
throw the hard drive away. They'll never know.
They'll never find it. How do I clear my search history? They, sweet old people. We love them, don't we? We love them so much.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet old murderers. But nowadays, it's actually like, I feel like criminals are always going to be behind, just a step behind DNA stuff nowadays, because it's getting to the point where, like, this shit is too good. Nobody can get past this. Mm-hmm. You can't get away with a crime anymore. I really, truly believe that. The unsolved cases are just, like, it's not going to happen. As long as they can find a body, somebody's going to be put in prison for that. Anyways, back in the day, it wasn't like that. And, he was a cop, which is infuriating. He was a cop for all of the rapes and several of the murders.
Oh my god.
I know. And although they have not proved this yet, my personal opinion is that the police station knew it was him. I really, really think... This is, again, total
I wouldn't be
surprised. Because he was let go as soon as he started murdering. And the reported reason is that he was caught shoplifting. He was shoplifting dog repellent and a hammer, which were both used in crimes. I truly, truly believe they could have caught this man. And I think the police department just didn't want the bad publicity because this was the monster. Like, he was the and of course, you can see how he was the monster because, my God, like, the things he did, mean, like, it's insane.
How is bad publicity more important than people's fucking lives and sanity?
Because, dude, like, police, they start to operate like tribes where they see themselves as themselves against the world and not necessarily that, they're trying to protect the world.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But not only that, but back in this day, back in the 70s, it wasn't just them versus the world. It was them versus every other police station. Like, they wouldn't tell everybody the details of the case. Like, even other police stations. This was a big deal. There were a couple murders, specifically in California. California was like hotspot for murders for whatever reason during the 70s and 80s and 60s too. It was like everybody's gonna get fucking chopped up here. But there was, I think her name was Polly in some rural town of California. But she was murdered, and the next police station over found the guy and knew he was suspicious, but they didn't have the details of his car that the other county knew. And they just didn't communicate enough to have caught him. They didn't have anything to hold him under. And so they just let him go. But they could have caught the criminal right then, and they just let him slip through their fingers. Jeez. And ever since then, they've been getting a lot better at communicating. But that happened so many times during this time. Like, the green...
I'm honestly not surprised, though, because, like, we're so used to the internet and being able to instantaneously communicate, being able to, like, drop everything into a singular database, that it looking back on it, it seems so bizarre that they wouldn't be able to do that. But I think it's partially because I'm so used to having that resource.
Communication was hard as fuck back in the day. Like, it really was. Although this case, they were just on the wrong radio stations, which is, again, infuriating. You want to just start punching.
I know.
Like, you want to just grab them by the head. And I'm not even this kid's parent. If I was this kid's parent, I would start cutting people up, man. I'd be so furious that they were just on the wrong radio station. They couldn't save my kid. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You were on the wrong radio station, and my kid died because of that? Like, somebody deserves to go in prison for that.
Yep.
Anyways, enough on my opinions. This guy, the Joseph D'Angelo, not much has been released about him yet. It is known that he was the Visalia ransacker as well, which is interesting, because that attaches, like, a bunch more burglaries to him. It just shows that he was a piece of shit for longer. And he was also a Vietnam vet, which isn't really surprising, because a lot of people were. And then I want to ask you guys about your opinions on familial DNA, because this is super controversial. I didn't expect this. So much backlash.
I can completely wrap my head around
Explain to me why.
But I also
I can't understand it.
This is one of those weird things that I go back and forth in my head because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
There's a controversy around this?
People,
I'm lost.
The reason is because, like, even if... So we have, like, I don't even know how to describe this. So people are upset about the idea of, like, using these, like, DNA systems to be able to, like, instantly, like, to take the DNA that you've submitted to something like this and then compare it to, like, a bunch of crimes and be able to, like, arrest you or your relatives and everything and all that kind of stuff. And so I try to think of it in terms of, because I think that this is good. In this instance, I think it's fantastic, because this guy is, like, a serial killer creep person. I hate him very much, and I think that I'm totally down for them using, like, this person's relatives to figure out who he is, because we don't just, like, to me, that's just kind of, like, a common sense thing. But imagine if, like, something were to go wrong, and people outlawed, I don't know, like, something that you've done in the past, like, something that we might not even think of as, like, oh, that's not a common sense thing. And then in the future, they could be like, well, you did this because we have DNA evidence linking to you, and we have the instant access to it because of this.
Well, wouldn't that then hold up in court because it wasn't illegal at the time?
It shouldn't hold up in court.
I think it's more so just because it's too much power.
I can understand.
Is the thing.
I think I can understand. I can understand people being afraid that improper justice would be carried out. Like, if it was a false positive, or if there was, like, some contamination, and then you were put in prison for something, and you were just playing around one and know how white you were. Like, I could see that being, like, a fear. That being said, I would willingly submit. It's power that could be misused. I want to willingly submit my DNA. Please take it. I don't want it.
See, I think that it's a good idea as long as... But humans are just so broken and problematic. And I keep thinking, like, oh, yeah, we as a species, we're totally mature enough to, like, work with this power and, like, fix our species.
No, we're not.
Trump is president right now. Can you imagine him with this power? Imagine, like, Mike Pence with this power. If he, like, got into office and they revoked, like, marriage equality. Like... How would, like... Yeah.
Well, there's also...
I don't know.
I
just
can
the
understand.
Idea of
I can understand.
Implementing...
Now, I've heard both sides. I can understand. I'm in a world in which there is not corruption in our justice system. Yes, I'm for it. In a world where people with fucking body cams are still planting evidence on people of races they don't like, I'm not a fan, because then... Somebody could take the DNA of somebody that they're like, oh, this person is of a race I'm not a fan of, and then manipulate their DNA to match another one.
Well, the problem is they get praised when they put somebody in prison. It doesn't matter if that person was the one or not. They don't have to prove that it was the person either. I mean, it technically is innocent until proven guilty, but all they do is just throw it at the justice system. Like, they're like, oh, this is a good person, let's throw it at... I mean, and this is not all cops, obviously, but you kind of have to, like, see what sticks.
It's not even just cops, too, because this falls on, like, judges, this falls on, like, jurors, and, like, the entire court process, the entire justice system.
And I've seen so many just shitty defense lawyers let somebody that is totally innocent go to jail. And there's a bunch of... I love this crime stuff. And hair evidence was used so much in the past as, like, evidence, and you could match it and send people to jail. Totally been debunked. You can't match hairs. So if you find hairs, you have to test them by the DNA. You can't just match them by the follicle, which is what they used to do. They just look at them.
The DNA you can only get from a hair's bud, and that's because it has skin cells on it.
Yes.
Like, if a hair is pulled out from the root, you can get DNA from the root of it, but you can't get DNA from any other part of the hair.
You're totally right. And that's what this problem was.
Also, bite, what is it called? Bite shape or whatever, that thing, that's been debunked
and that's actually what Ted Bundy was sent to the electric chair for. Did you know that this is what evidence they used for him, is the bite, the dental marks. It has to be such a fucking perfect bite, and the person has to be, like, unconscious, because otherwise they're gonna move when you're biting, and it's gonna and they just...
We rip our food. Like, we bite it and pull it off.
It has to be, like, chop, release, move. Because otherwise it's...
Like biting clay.
And that's what... And the problem is the jurors don't understand this science, and if somebody convincing gets up on the stand and is just like, I know what I'm talking about because I am a science person. And it's easy to understand. Like, DNA is hard to understand. Teeth, super fucking easy to understand. They could just be like, ooh, teeth match. And then, you know, the jurors are like, oh, teeth match. Like, let's send this person to death.
Yep.
And I'm not saying Ted Bundy didn't do it, because obviously Ted Bundy's fucking guilty. But I think it's interesting that the stuff that he was sent to the electric chair for, just, you know, it's been debunked. It just shows how easy it is to convict somebody so hard that everyone's 100% sure, and then 20 years later they're like, oh shit, we were wrong.
This stuff doesn't actually work.
I see how that would be. But I trust science enough nowadays that I want to give my DNA up.
See, I trust science, but the thing is, I don't trust the people who are in charge.
That's fair.
It's the people who won't listen to science.
That's where I am.
Who see science and they're like, did you ever see that one? It was like a senator who was calling, like, a scientific journal fake news.
What?
It's great. It's a great time.
Yep, like, it was, like, one of the country's top, like, scientific journals, and someone was like, you brought me a magazine, this is fake news, this isn't, like... He was complaining about a scientific journal.
I mean, are you fucking
and calling
surprised?
it fake news.
Our president doesn't believe in global warming.
Our president doesn't believe in anything
if
it's not saying how great he fucking is, piece of shit. I'm so tired of his shit.
I trust science with our DNA. I don't trust... Exactly. Oh my gosh. I don't trust our justice system. I don't trust our president. I don't trust the people who would be given the power to implement these things.
Yep.
I think that it should totally be used as a tool if we can use it properly. Yes. It's just a really powerful and kind of scary tool.
I totally agree. Yes. That being said...
It has a lot of potential to go wrong.
The Zodiac Killer. They're gonna run his DNA through this system, and I could not be more fucking excited about it. I want to know who the Zodiac Killer is.
Really
so
everybody wants to know.
And I wish we had who's that little girl that got killed in
JonBenét Ramsey?
JonBenét Ramsey! Thank you! I couldn't remember her name. I was like, it's JonBenét
Ramsey. My mom got so shook over JonBenét Ramsey because...
Everybody got shook over JonBenét Ramsey.
JonBenét Ramsey... Okay, Spark Notes.
What? Okay, after...
Spark Notes. She was a, 5 or 6-year-old child pageant winner, who had, won a bunch of pageants. She's
so many awards.
Adorable little blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girl. Somebody just fucking murdered her. And I'm not going to go into details. It's sad. In her house.
But, there's a couple of these things that are really important. I'm going to go into a 30-minute diatribe. It was an inside job. Her family did it. It's proven. It's not proven. It's a conspiracy.
Oh, shit.
Okay, nobody's in jail for this. So, she was murdered. they found, okay, she was taken, first of all. Her mother found the ransom note, called 911. I found a ransom note in my house. 3-page fucking ransom note that never fucking happens. And that's never happened in the history of ever. And it was matched to the mother's handwriting. They did a search all day. They couldn't find her. She was in the basement the whole fucking time. She was dead in the basement. And they were like, oh, we can't find her. She's in the goddamn basement. Did nobody look in the basement? Anyways, it's fuck conspiracy. It was her brother that killed her, and then the parents covered it up. So, mission solved. We solved it.
Well, anyway, JonBenét Ramsey was really fucking sad.
Yes, it is. It is really sad. I
was her age. She would be my age, and I was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed small child as well, so my mom was all about JonBenét Ramsey.
It's really sad.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
I heard all about that.
I hate when they use the picture of her that looks like she's 30 as opposed to the 6-year-old picture of her without makeup on that looks like she's a 6-year-old. Because she was a fucking 6-year-old. She wasn't 30 years old. She wasn't in all that makeup all the time. She was a child.
No.
Ugh, I have strong feelings about JonBenét Ramsey. It's a really good case.
True crime.
If you're interested in true crime, look at that case. It's very interesting. I'm acting like it's solved. It's absolutely not. There's so many conspiracy theories about this.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm really excited to see who the Zodiac
Killer is. Do you know when they're running Zodiac Killer
They just said
DNA?
they were going to. I hope it's soon. If it is soon, they're probably not going to tell us for months and months. Because they're very, very careful about this sort of thing now. Like, the people who are in charge of these, like, high profile cases are usually, like, they are cool as cucumbers, and they're going to do this the right way because they're not going to let the bad guy slip out again.
Yeah.
The actual, one of the lead detectives on the East Side Rapist Golden State Killer case was named Paul Holes, and he is, I could listen to that man talk for forever. He's like the Indiana Jones of true crime. Like, he is the coolest dude in the whole world, and I just want to listen to him forever. And I 100% would let him hold my child. I trust him so much. He can have my babies. In a not sexual way, just he can have them. I think he's great, and I hope they put people in charge like that on Zodiac. And I mean, I wish they had 100 of him so they could be on everything, but you know. Anyways, that's Hannah's True Crime Corner. I'm really excited about this stuff.
I really hope it goes somewhere.
I'm so pumped.
I hope so. So Hannah's positive note is killers getting caught.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Echo has a pretty great positive note.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna go from that to like VidCon news. I kind of got invited to VidCon.
Hell
like,
yeah, you did, girl.
As an invited guest. I'm so excited. They sent me like packets and things, and like it's weird because it's like now I don't know. I'm trying to figure everything out, but it's like they gave me all of these like rules. Like I'm not allowed to walk to the event. I have to take their fancy cars.
You have to?
And I'm not allowed on like I have to like. Which is kind of lucky because the hotel that I booked is not the Best Western we were at last year. It's like one that's actually on the other side, so it just happens to be a little bit closer to the place.
I wanted to ask,
but I still have to walk there.
Okay, so they take your fancy cars and stuff like that, and you're not allowed on the main floor. But are you staying in the fancy hotel? Like,
I get like none of the perks essentially. They won't pay for a flight or hotel. I don't get a +1. That was
you don't get a
really
+1.
I don't get a +1.
Heck?
No. It's like invited guest. It's more like they're just upgrading my ticket, which I am totally down for. I am totally fine with like having my regular ticket just upgraded so that I, feel like I won't be talked down to by
get the gold
people
badge?
who should be my peers.
Is it yellow?
Yes.
Okay.
I get the gold badge. I get the fancy yellow badge.
Oh yes. Okay, I'm not mad at VidCon anymore.
Badge?
Yeah, I'm not mad anymore.
I'm excited.
That's so good.
I mean, I think it's weird. I think that I technically can sneak out in and like onto the main floor and like talk to people and stuff, but I have to be unreasonably careful.
Well, I do find that's awesome. I'm so excited. But if they're not paying for a hotel and they're not like paying for your stuff or you're not getting the perks, why the fuck don't you have a +1? They're just giving another person a badge so you have somebody to go with. So you're essentially just banning you to be alone if you don't have anybody to go with. Like, that's really stupid.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like that's mainly because I've already bought a ticket, and so now I have a ticket, and then they also gave me a ticket. So now they're like, we can't refund you, but you can like give this ticket to anyone.
Oh, so they're like using that as your +1? But then your +1 doesn't have the same privileges.
Yeah, and so it's like I'm separated from them, which is really weird. Yeah, so I'm like so hesitant because I'm like, who can I invite that would actually have a good time, even though I probably won't get to see them very often.
Oh,
And so I'm
sucks.
sorting everything out.
Huh.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's very exciting, though, but also going to be really weird, because I don't know if I know that many people on the other side of the, like, weird YouTube barrier.
I mean,
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting
it's
experience.
gonna be cool.
But it's awesome. It's
Yes.
awesome as hell.
Yes.
I'm
That's
content with it.
fucking
I'm very
fantastic.
excited about
You
it.
should be. This is a big...
Like, it's going to be weird.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, we're all just going to, like, link arms and walk in there together. Someday,
One day.
eventually.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
One day,
Oh,
we're all
yeah.
gonna walk into VidCon with a yellow badge, and we're
God.
just gonna be like, high five,
Dude.
and then like a
We're gonna
slow
have,
mo
like-
movie, like old 80s high five. It's gonna be like that.
We're
Freeze
going to have a
frame.
group meet and greet. Like, that's
Yes.
one of
Dude,
these days. We're just
That
going to have a,
is
like,
all
release
I
the
could
salt
ever
meet and
want.
greet.
Like, that's right now my fucking dream in life is just for all of us to be like chilling at VidCon. And then when it happens, you know, I'm gonna be like, this is lamer than I thought, because I can always complain. I can always complain. No, I'm super excited that VidCon seems to be listening.
Yes.
I love that
Yes.
they it's clear that they looked through the VidCon tags on YouTube, at least Hank did, and was like, ooh, somebody
Yeah.
complaining about VidCon? I like her. Let's invite her. And you know what? She had a good
Yep.
idea about the meeting.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I think I love Hank for that.
I love that. They're actually giving, like, the invited guests meet and greets, which is cool. I like
that's
it.
super neat.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so happy.
And I think
Yeah.
that
Okay.
and that is our
So
overall
that's gonna
positive
be our
right
positive
there.
note.
Is future
Yes.
is bright, even though YouTube is
We
lame.
need sunglasses. It's so bright.
Yes.
Hell
Our futures
yeah.
are going
I
to be
need my
good.
transition lenses. All right, you want to start platforms, Crystal?
Yes, you can find us on Mondays on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, and SoundCloud. And our handles are
At Happy Panda Party.
At Echo is Weird.
and at the Crystal Joy.
And remember, friends, the human body cannot survive without salt. Thank you for listening.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a great
Have
week.
a great
See you next week.
week.
Bye. Yeah.